What was the deadliest sniper rifle of World War II? From the rugged American Springfield to the feared German Mauser and the legendary Soviet Mosin-Nagant, we are ranking and explaining the complete history of every sniper rifle deployed in the Second Global Conflict. Prepare for the ultimate, historically accurate technical breakdown of military precision. Starting us off is the Springfield M1903A4, the primary American bolt-action sniper rifle of the Second World War. Based on the reliable M1903A3 infantry rifle, this variant had its iron sights entirely removed at the factory. It was fitted with a Weaver 330C 2.5 power telescopic sight, later replaced by improved military optics. Firing the standard 30 caliber M2 ball ammunition, it provided accurate fire support for infantry squads across Europe and the Pacific. While not a custom purpose-built sniper platform, its rugged Mauser-style action made it highly dependable in harsh combat conditions. Despite its relatively low magnification scope, it remained in active service well into the Korean and Vietnam conflicts. Next is the Springfield M1903A1, equipped with the Unurtle scope, a highly specialized rifle used primarily by the United States Marine Corps. Unlike the standard Army issue, this system paired a heavily modified national match rifle with a massive 8-power Unurtle optic. The combination offered exceptional long-range precision, vastly outperforming the optics issued to typical Army infantry units. Snipers deployed this weapon effectively during the island-hopping campaigns in the Pacific Theater, particularly on Guadalcanal and Tarawa. The external adjustment mounts on the scope required the shooter to physically pull the optic back into battery after every single shot. This meticulous process was demanding, but the resulting accuracy made it one of the deadliest precision instruments of the entire war. Following that, we look at the M1C and M1D Garand, representing the American push towards semi-automatic sniper rifles. Because the standard Garand loads via an N-block clip from the top, the optics had to be offset to the left side of the receiver. The M1C utilized a complex Griffin and Howe mount, which required receivers to be specially drilled and tapped at the armory. To simplify production, the M1D was later developed with a barrel block mount, though very few saw action before the war ended. Both variants utilized variations of the M81 or M82 2.5 power telescopic sights. These rifles provided American marksmen with a rapid follow-up shot capability that traditional bolt-action systems simply could not match. Moving on to the Winchester Model 70, we find an unofficial but highly prized bolt-action sniper rifle. Originally a civilian sporting rifle, it was acquired in limited numbers by the United States Marine Corps for combat testing. Firing the .30-06 cartridge, it was internationally known for its incredibly smooth action and exceptional inherent accuracy. Many of these rifles were paired with 8-power Unurtle scopes, matching the specialized Marine Springfield setups. They saw limited but highly effective use in the Pacific Theater before being officially phased out due to logistical standardization issues. Today, a documented World War II Marine Corps Model 70 remains one of the rarest historical sniper artifacts in existence. Let us move on to the M1917 Enfield, originally a World War I weapon pressed into limited sniper duty during the Second World War. While the United States primarily relied on the Springfield, some Enfield rifles were retrofitted with telescopic sights for training and secondary deployments. The rifle featured a robust modified Mauser action and fired the standard 30 caliber American service cartridge. It possessed a heavy barrel and a long sight radius, making it a naturally accurate platform even before optics were permanently attached. Most scoped variants use simple commercial optics fitted on elevated mounts to clear the prominent rear receiver bridge. Although largely overshadowed by newer models, it served as a capable stopgap measure for precision shooting when frontline supplies were strained. Next up is the Soviet Mosin-Nagant M1891-30, undoubtedly one of the most mass-produced sniper rifles in human history. Early marksman variants featured the 4-power PE and PEM scopes, which utilized complex top and side steel mounts. By 1942, the Soviets simplified production by introducing the iconic and rugged 3.5-power PU scope. The straight bolt handle had to be bent downward to allow the shooter to cycle the action without hitting the optic. Chambered in the powerful 7.62 by 54mm rimmed cartridge, it was devastatingly effective on the frozen Eastern Front. Famous snipers like Vasily Zaitsev and Lyudmila Pavlichenko used this exact platform to rack up hundreds of confirmed eliminations. Following closely is the Soviet SBT-40, an ambitious attempt to provide designated marksmen with a semi-automatic weapon. Designed by Fyodor Tokarev, this gas-operated rifle also fired the standard 7.62 by 54mm rimmed cartridge. Selected rifles demonstrating superior factory accuracy were machined with rails on the receiver to accept a special PU scope mount. The semi-automatic action allowed a sniper to engage multiple targets rapidly, which was highly advantageous during mass infantry assaults. However, the rifle suffered from vertical stringing issues as the barrel heated up, degrading its long-range precision significantly. Because of these accuracy limitations and manufacturing complexities, the Soviets eventually halted sniper production of this model and reverted strictly to the Mosin-Nagant. Let us transition to the SVT-38, the direct predecessor to the previously mentioned Soviet semi-automatic rifle. Introduced in 1938, it saw its first major combat testing during the brutal Winter War against the nation of Finland. Marksman versions were equipped with an early model scope, giving Soviet snipers a theoretical advantage in rate of fire. Combat experience quickly revealed that the rifle was too long, cumbersome, and prone to parts breakage in sub-zero temperatures. The mounting system for the optics was also less stable than traditional bolt-action setups, leading to wandering zeros and missed shots. These severe design flaws forced a rapid redesign, leading to its cancellation and replacement after only a brief operational lifespan. Next in line is the AVS-36, designed by Sergei Simonov, representing one of the earliest selective fire sniper concepts. This innovative Soviet weapon fired a full-power rifle cartridge and could switch between semi-automatic and fully automatic fire. A small number were manufactured with receiver rails and fitted with the 4-power PE telescopic sight. The massive recoil of the fully automatic firing mode made the optic mounts prone to vibrating loose and failing completely. Furthermore, the complex gas system was highly sensitive to dirt and fouling, making it unreliable in muddy trench conditions. It was quickly deemed a failure as a sniper platform and withdrawn from frontline marksman service before the German invasion even began. Now we examine the German Karabiner 98K, the undisputed backbone of the Wehrmacht sniper and sharpshooter program. Initially, highly accurate selected rifles were paired with 4-power ZF-39 commercial scopes on turret or side mounts. Later, the Germans introduced the 1.5-power ZF-41, a long eye relief optic acting more like a modern scout sight than a true sniper scope. Toward the end of the conflict, they adopted the 4-power ZF-4, heavily inspired by captured Soviet optics, to streamline factory manufacturing, firing the 8mm Mauser round. This legendary bolt-action platform delivered exceptional lethal energy and mechanical reliability. Its widespread use across all theaters made it the deadliest and most feared precision weapon employed by Axis forces. Moving along to the Walther Gewehr 43, we see Germany's successful answer to the semi-automatic sniper rifle challenge. Heavily influenced by captured Soviet designs, it featured a much more reliable gas system than previous German engineering attempts. Every single receiver was forged with an integral side rail, designed specifically to mount the ZF-4 telescopic sight. It fired the standard 8mm Mauser cartridge from a 10-round detachable box magazine, granting excellent sustained firepower. Despite its advanced design, it suffered from rough late-war manufacturing tolerances which occasionally hindered its maximum accuracy potential. Nevertheless, it remained a highly prized weapon among German snipers during the desperate defensive battles of 1944 and 1945. Up next is the Gewehr 41, an early and deeply flawed German attempt at a semi-automatic marksman rifle. Developed under strict military limitations, it utilized a complex gas trap mechanism near the muzzle rather than a standard tapped gas port. Scoped variants were extremely rare but did exist, usually fitted with commercial optics on experimental mounting systems for field testing. The weapon was notoriously muzzle-heavy, poorly balanced, and incredibly difficult to clean in dirty frontline conditions. The gas trap mechanism rapidly fouled with carbon, frequently turning the expensive weapon into a clumsy straight-pole bolt-action rifle. It was entirely discontinued after German engineers realized that copying the Soviet gas port design was the only functional path forward. Following this, we have the Gewehr 98, a remnant of the First World War pulled from armories to serve once again. When the German army faced critical equipment shortages on the Eastern Front, they issued these older, longer rifles to designated marksmen. These weapons retained their original long barrels, which provided excellent ballistic performance for the 8mm Mauser round. They were typically fitted with legacy First World War optics, such as the Goer's or Zeiss prismatic scopes on heavy claw mounts. While heavier and bulkier than the modernized Carabiner 98K, their inherent accuracy remained superb even decades after their original manufacture. They served as a vital stopgap measure for sharpshooters until dedicated modern sniper rifle production could meet military demands. Next, we discuss the FG-42, an incredibly advanced selective fire rifle engineered specifically for elite German paratroopers. This technological marvel fired the full-size 8mm Mauser cartridge from a side-mounted 20-round box magazine. Many of these weapons were issued with the ZF4 scope, effectively turning an automatic rifle into a deadly designated marksman platform. The optical sight was mounted high on the receiver to clear the shooter's line of sight over the complex folding iron sights. It offered paratroopers the ability to lay down precision fire at range or suppress enemy positions with fully automatic bursts. Due to its extreme production costs and complex machining, only a few thousand were ever built before the war finally concluded. Moving forward is the Sturmgewehr 44, historically recognized globally as the world's first true mass-produced assault rifle. Chambered in the intermediate 7.92 by 33mm Kurz round, it successfully bridged the gap between submachine guns and full-power rifles. A small percentage of these rifles were equipped with a ZF4 scope to serve specifically as mid-range urban sniper weapons. More remarkably, some were fitted with the Zielgerät 229 Vampire, an active infrared night vision system. This massive heavy optic allowed German snipers to see and engage targets in complete darkness using an invisible infrared spotlight. Though limited in range and overall numbers, it pioneered the tactical concept of night vision combat operations that modern militaries rely on today. Let us switch over to the British No. 4 Mark 1T, widely considered one of the absolute finest sniper rifles of the era. Standard infantry rifles that demonstrated exceptional accuracy during factory testing were pulled aside for extensive hand-fitting and modification by Holland & Holland. Each rifle was meticulously fitted with a wooden cheek rest and a cast-iron mount to hold the magnificent No. 32 telescopic sight. The No. 32 scope was originally designed for the Bren light machine gun, making it incredibly robust and capable of holding a perfect zero. Firing the .33 British cartridge, its 10-round magazine and incredibly fast bolt action gave British snipers a distinct tactical edge. This legendary system remained in active British military service long after the war, eventually being rechambered for modern NATO ammunition. Next in the British arsenal is the pattern 1914 Mark I WT, a heavily utilized precision weapon. Originally manufactured in the United States for the British Army during World War I, it was resurrected for service in the Second Global Conflict. Like the American 1917 model, it featured a modified Mauser action but fired the rimmed .303 British cartridge. Scoped versions were primarily equipped with the Model 1918 telescopic sight, or earlier Aldous optics. The rifle's heavy barrel and rigid receiver made it exceptionally accurate, and it was primarily issued to the Home Guard and Rear Echelon defense units. It allowed the British military to confidently free up the newer No. 4 sniper rifles for active frontline service in Europe and Africa. Following that, we look at the SMLE No. 1 Mark III HT, primarily utilized by dedicated Australian forces. While the British transitioned to the newer No. 4 rifle, Australia continued producing and modifying the older First World War design. The heavy barrel marksman variant was equipped with an Australian-manufactured pattern 1918 telescopic sight mounted on the left side. This offset mounting system cleverly allowed the shooter to still load the rifle using standard 5-round stripper clips from the top. Chambered in .303 British, it proved highly durable and lethal in the humid, demanding jungle environments of the Pacific Theater. Australian snipers used this heavy-barreled platform with devastating precision against Imperial Japanese forces throughout the entire New Guinea campaign. Moving to Canadian forces, we have the Ross Mark III, specifically the Model 1910 straight-pull bolt-action rifle. Originally discarded as a standard infantry weapon during World War I due to severe jamming in muddy trenches, it was incredibly accurate in clean conditions. Because of its inherent precision, Canadian forces pressed scoped variants back into service for sniper training and limited World War II combat engagements. The straight-pull mechanism allowed for a very rapid rate of fire, provided the issued ammunition was clean and properly sized. It fired the standard .303 British cartridge and was often fitted with commercial hunting scopes available at the time. While rarely seen on the absolute front lines, it played a crucial role in training the Commonwealth snipers who would later deploy to Europe. Next, we focus on the Japanese Type 97, the first purpose-built sniper rifle adopted by the Imperial Japanese Army. Based on the reliable Type 38 infantry rifle, it fired the low-recoil 6.5mm Japanese service cartridge. It featured a factory-installed 2.5 power telescopic sight mounted far to the rear and offset to the left side. This low-recoil round produced almost no muzzle flash or smoke, making the hidden Japanese sniper incredibly difficult to locate in dense jungle cover. The weapon featured a straight bolt handle bent down to clear the optic, and a wire monopod to stabilize the extremely long barrel. Its fixed focus scope lacked internal windage adjustments, meaning the sniper had to manually hold over the target using reticle hash marks. Let us move on to the Japanese Type 99 sniper rifle. Developed specifically to provide more stopping power than its predecessor, upgraded to fire the larger and much more powerful 7.7mm cartridge, it matched the ballistic performance of standard Allied rifles. It was equipped with a superior 4-power telescopic sight, though still offset to allow rapid loading via standard stripper clips. Like the Type 97, the scope was fixed, meaning all elevation and windage adjustments were made using the complex internal reticle grid. This robust bolt-action rifle included a chrome-lined barrel, which was absolutely vital for preventing rust and corrosion in the sweltering Pacific Islands. American Marines deeply feared the distinctive heavy crack of this weapon during the brutal jungle fighting on Okinawa and Iwo Jima. Following closely is the Japanese Type 38 with scoped field modifications, acting as a makeshift sharpshooter platform. Before the official adoption of dedicated sniper variants, enterprising Japanese armorers retrofitted standard infantry rifles with commercial or older military optics. These weapons retained the exceptionally long barrel of the standard Type 38, which naturally maximized the velocity of the 6.5mm round. Because these were not standardized factory models, the mounting hardware and optic quality varied wildly from unit to unit. Despite the crude nature of these modifications, the inherently smooth Arasaka action made them quite lethal in the hands of a skilled marksman. They bridged a crucial tactical gap in the early days of the Pacific War, before mass production of the Type 97 caught up. Next up is the Finnish Mosin-Nagant M39, heavily upgraded by Sako and Tikoski for extreme cold weather precision. The Finns captured thousands of Soviet rifles, completely rebuilding them with heavier match-grade barrels and vastly improved iron sights. The sniper variants were fitted with either captured Soviet scopes or commercially acquired German optics, mounted securely to the rebuilt heavy receivers. The trigger mechanisms were refined to a crisp, two-stage pull, drastically enhancing the shooter's physical control and ultimate accuracy. Chambered in the Finnish 7.62 by 53mm rimmed cartridge, these rifles easily outperformed their original Soviet counterparts. Finnish snipers utilized these meticulously tuned weapons to halt massive Soviet mechanized advances during the grueling Continuation War. Moving to another Finnish design, we have the Mosin-Nagant M33, a highly specialized and very rare sniper variant, produced by Tikoski in the early 1930s. It was an early attempt to standardize a sniper platform for the Finnish National Army. It featured a specialized heavy barrel and a redesigned wooden stock to provide the shooter with better ergonomics during long observational periods. The optics chosen for this platform were typically high-quality German Zeiss or Busch scopes, mounted via sturdy commercial rings. Only a very small production run was ever officially completed, making it one of the rarest combat-issued Mosin-Nagant variations in history. However, the lessons learned from building this highly accurate rifle directly influenced the legendary Finnish sniper doctrine used against the Red Army. Let us switch to the Italian Carcano Modello 1891 scoped variant, a functional but often misunderstood precision weapon. While the Italian military did not heavily emphasize a formal sniper program, they did produce scoped versions of their standard infantry rifle. These rifles fired the 6.5 by 52mm Carcano round, feeding from a 6-round end-block clip system. The optics were usually low-magnification models, mounted slightly offset to accommodate the unique top-loading clip ejection mechanism. The split-bridge receiver design of the Carcano made mounting optics inherently difficult, resulting in less stable zero retention compared to solid Mauser actions. Consequently, they were used sparingly in the North African and Mediterranean theaters, mostly serving in designated marksman roles rather than dedicated sniper missions. Finally, we examine the French Lebel Model 1886 M93, a true functional relic of the late 19th century. By the time of the massive German invasion of France in 1940, this tubular magazine rifle was desperately obsolete. However, desperate French forces pulled scoped versions from storage, complete with original World War I era, a PX telescopic sights. It fired the rimmed 8mm label cartridge, historically famous as the first smokeless powder, military round ever invented. Loading the tubular magazine under the barrel was agonizingly slow, and the heavy trigger pull significantly hindered rapid precision shooting. Despite these glaring functional flaws, brave French resistance fighters and rearguard soldiers used them to harass advancing German armored columns during the fall of France.